be live streaming this as well. Betty, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Welcome everybody. Welcome, Mr. Bright. It's nice to have you here. My name is Betty Weregi. I am from Kenya, and today we're gonna be having a speaker series hosted by Alliance for AI. And what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be exposing young people to experts like Mr. Bright, who are gonna be helping us to make better career decisions and to also help us to stay on edge with the current trends that are happening in technology. Yes. And I work with Alliance for AI with Alex and part of our team. I'm hoping they'll join us later. Welcome.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Betty. And myself, I am Alexado, co-founder of Alliance for AI, and I'll be the support moderator today, as Betty is the primary moderator of the session. So many of you are probably like me. You were thinking that cybersecurity only affects big companies and governments, and that we don't need to care about it as individuals and owners of small businesses. I imagine some of you are like that. If yes, please write in the comments. Today you are in for a treat, right? We have Bright Gameli here with us. I see him as the most exciting cybersecurity professional that I know. Not even just in Africa, anywhere. It's really been exciting to know him since around 2016. He learned how to build his first virus at 8 years old. I just learned that a few days ago. And he got his PhD, I believe from South Korea, right? Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, South Korea. And it took him about just 2 years to make that happen. And since then, he spent many years inspiring people to become cybersecurity experts. And so, well, we're excited to have him here. I have a message to share with you all before at least we get started, and we'll hand it over to him. You see, at Alliance for AI, we have a culture of sharing, right? We learn things and we share with our community, and social media is a big way to do that. So today you're going to learn a lot of things. You are free to take screenshots, write a lot of notes, and post them to social media so people get to learn what you have learned. We just ask that you use our hashtags, because that way we can track it and repost what you post and even help you get greater reach. These are the hashtags I just put on the chat. So use those when you do it. All right, well, over to you, Bright. I think you have a little presentation for us.
So I'm even confused because I have two presentation ways that I want to take it, and I don't even know which one to use. But yeah, I think we're just going to have a little bit of discussion about one, what are we looking at in the cybersecurity space, and I'll just share my entire screen, so I'll be moving around. And two, I think we'll be using some people here as an example when it comes to cybersecurity in terms of having to see exactly what is happening in the space. So please, sometime just volunteer your details if we have to. So yeah, my name is Bright Gameli Maudo, founder and CEO of a company called CyberGuard Africa, basically, and also the founder of Africa Hack-On. If you don't know Africa Hack-On, then please go find out about it. But CyberGuard Africa is basically we're trying to help to secure people's networks and lives. So some of the I use this as Asia Pacific. It's a presentation I wasn't going to use, but I said let me use it again. Pacific and Asia part of things. We are seeing an increase when it comes to regulatory enforcement. Ransomware has become a big threat to us. AI-based social engineering is becoming a big threat, and we're looking at secure by design incident response being a big issue. What I mean by this is the fact that regulatory entities are trying to become a bit more stringent. We're seeing as the ransomware threats have gone way overboard, even right here in Kenya, or wherever you're tuning in from, Nigeria or Kenya or Ghana. And people are trying to get to actually put secure by design. And social engineering is changing its way of how it gets to do things. What are the things that we're looking for as common threats in 2024? We're seeing a lot of business email compromise attacks that are becoming more sophisticated. We have silent password stealers. I wish I could show you some of those password stealers, but I don't know. I don't want some of you to take excuse me, pictures of people's passwords, because some of them could be your neighbors. How they call it, password. They were seeing automated attacks by AI. People are creating full and detectable malwares, which is getting very stealthy. I was seeing AI exploitation for data and API exploitation when it comes to data and mobile applications. So nation state actors are becoming quite confident that they try to be able to penetrate your network, your systems, and the likes. So this is some of the things basically we're looking at when it comes to malwares and attacks that are happening every other day. But I want to switch the presentation to something else, which I'm very passionate about, which is when it comes to the career part of cybersecurity. What is the way of you getting into the cybersecurity space? Because since I don't have too much time for this and I want to do a little bit of demonstration as well, a lot of people are becoming want to get into cybersecurity, and they keep on asking the question, where do I get to fit in? Should I become somebody who is just doing offensive security? Everybody thinks you just have to be a hacker, like a technical hacker, to be typing commands to be able to get a cybersecurity space, but you don't have to. There are people who actually have security awareness and culture engineer. Let me tell you something, that is actually a job. There's a guy I met from one of the anti-malware vendors. So we're doing a presentation together in South Africa some time back. Alice, you're not going to believe this. This guy's job is basically to do introductions to other speakers, and he just travels around the world. He was actually earning $250,000 a year, and his job is to travel. He doesn't even spend that money. Yeah, he doesn't even spend that money. Do you know why? Because the per diems he gets for traveling is way more than his salary. So his job is to say, we are ABCD company. We have new threats that are coming. We can secure you. Now I present to you the presentation of the day. And he walks off. The rest of the presentation is not even done by him. He doesn't even touch anything. And what he tells you, he tells you his job is a security awareness and culture engineer. Not even, he's an ambassador. That's what he does. So I would love to retire in such a role in the future, because that's a very nice, easy job. We have people who become policy writers, and they basically write, excuse the birds in the background. And if you may allow me, I want to just raise my table a little bit for comfort. I've been sitting the whole day. I don't know how I look now.
Please go ahead. And I think you still look great. And someone in the comments said that the security awareness and culture engineer is an MC.
They're basically MCs who just want to become, I mean, they're really good at, they're very good at doing introductions. So the introductions are great. So yeah, so there are people who are policy writers. I see a lot of people who are not in the cybersecurity space. Maybe they are lawyers, they are marketing managers, become policy writers, especially lawyers. Lawyers become good policy writers. Governance, risk, and compliance. Anyone can do this. Funny enough, I see a lot more ladies in the governance, risk, and compliance space than anything else. Project managers, anyone can do project management. You just need to understand the basic common details. So again, when looking at the career shift from a non-technical person to a cybersecurity role, look at project management. You just need to understand the basics to be able to know how most of them can be implemented. Just before this call, I had a call with the company, and the company basically wants to, they have a tool which can detect if your company can easily be spoofed or not. And that tool is simple. The person who was actually explaining things to me is not a technical person. She was not, but she basically will be able to, she doesn't have to be a technical person to explain the basic product to me. So again, product manager in terms of sales or product manager in terms of building an application is there. There's data protection officers, we have technical content writers, we have customer success managers, sales engineers, pre-sales engineers, and we have technical writers. However, the one common thing that I find a lot of people not getting when it comes to such a thing is to know what are the basic things you have to do. Here are some of the technical roles or some of the roles that are there and what it means. This benchmark is in the United States. We can break it down to if you want to actually see the roles in the Africa region. I'm trying to give you a benchmark for I want you to think internationally. So a junior role, sometimes you get to see $80,000 to $100,000, meaning in Kenya, it can be in Africa, most African countries will be between, wait a second, I did a benchmark somewhere, which I can see on the screen, will be between approximately in the 75 percentile. So there's percentiles you have to look at, 25, 75, and 100. The 100 means the highest level of things. A junior role in Kenya or Africa, to say, might be between maybe about $5,000 to $12,000. So it depends, exactly. Mid-level engineers get to be that. And then people, the top level, which can be quite lucrative, depending on where you are. Either you're a cybersecurity engineer, a malware analyst, a red teamer, or pen tester who likes to break into systems and networks can get that as well. But this is usually a lead role. So these persons are very lead in the space that they are. They may not do the day-to-day jobs, but they become quite easy to do that. What are some of the skills that you need? I see a lot of people, you need basic IT experience, systems, networks, which I'll show you some of those soon. Incident management skills, business skills, strong communication and presentation skills are important. I've seen so many people who become, they have communication, they have the technical skills, but they cannot present what they have. So if you don't know how to present your details of what you have, you're going to have a very difficult time when looking at cybersecurity. And of course, understanding basic risk management. People want to get technical, but don't want to understand risk management. You will never grow if you don't get to actually understand that. So here are some of the details you need. Operating system fundamentals, network basics, and you can get all of these details online. There are so many websites that are available for you to learn this from. There is Cybery.it, has some free courses you can think about. There's one for Easy Counsel called Code Red course. It's pretty cheap for you to actually get that. They have a whole bundle. When you see something that is free like this, doesn't mean that you're going to, doesn't mean entirely you are going to get this for free. You get the course for free, but the exam, you have to pay for the exam, which might be like $200 or $300. That is a hack most companies are using these days. So try to see how you can actually use some of these basic websites that you can actually use to learn. There's Coursera. There's ICS. Is ISC squared certified cybersecurity course. You can basically go through this course. Again, it has a lot of free details for you to get security certification. There's even Google Cybersecurity course, which is free. Again, it's on the Google certifier, how do you call it, website. Get to take such courses. So I want to just show you or take you through a basic moment of a hack, what you can do to, first of all, are there any questions before I get to the demo part of things and we get to move from there? If none, what are some of the mistakes organizations make? It's easy to profile organizations. It's easy for you to be able to understand exactly how they think or how they're doing things. So maybe if I don't get a company, you have to volunteer yourself. So if I want to get a sample organization that I can pick from the chat. So if anybody's in the chat, please provide details. I want an example of an organization. I've been international one, so we don't target a particular one.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably give you one soon. Others in the chat, maybe write an example of organization on the chat.
An organization, and also it would be great to get some email addresses, like a Gmail. I just want to show you something very easy. So first thing we do is just basically getting information about the organization. It can be Vodafone, maybe. I
Yeah, I
don't know.
wrote Media House. I think it's like it's a publishing agency. I put it in the chat. It's based
All right.
in Belgium and Ireland.
All right.
So let's see if these Belgian and Ireland people are doing their jobs.
So somebody suggesting Africa Hackon. Nancy Murithi, I know, I see you. So let's say, so media has a publishing agency. So for this, I know they most probably have some sort of email addresses and everything. First things I want to look for is the domain. Want to see, there are ways to find out if the account has been reached out there and the likes. I'm not going to do that today, but you look for information about them, basic information. Then there's something called phonebook.cz, which I've already logged in. So I can put this to see what email addresses do they have. How do the email addresses look like? Hoping that works. URLs. No, this is the first time this is not working. Demo gods. Let me see if CIA. But I do have credit on this thing. Anyway, basically that's supposed to give us all the email samples that we can have. Then you basically try to see how exactly do they work. So if you look at, say, something like site, but they're using Google. Google gives you very easy ways to be able to do things in terms of finding out details about a particular organization. Not to go through all of them. If you do something like, say, in text, for example, I typed this yesterday for a class that I was teaching. This shows you websites in Kenya that have the word backup in their website, and you basically can take over the entire website. You can put this to NG if you want to see Nigeria. So all of these companies basically have backup folders in their websites. If you want to see details, say, in text, there's something like this, shows you websites that have been compromised and they have their passwords leaking on the website completely. I'm still not sure why this website is not working. Oh, there we go. No results. Okay. But if it's something like this, the blackout part, meaning there's a possibility they've been compromised. And if you can see the email account details here, it makes it easy for me to go search a little bit more detail about them. Okay, this I didn't have much out there, so I'll leave this one alone. So yeah,
Seem
Google
well
is
protected. Is that what's happening?
no, I just haven't found much about that. I need to spend more time on such a company, profiling them to understand exactly what they're all about. Showdown is another one which helps you to be able to actually find devices in areas and the likes. If I look for, say, country NG, and I'm looking for Cisco as a product, basically you can see Cisco devices that are in the entire country, and they're about 3,766 in Lagos alone. So you can go through this and be able to see exactly if you can actually try to compromise them or not. And Showdown is free. If I write, say, Android debug bridge and put it on port 5555 and country, for example, Korea, you'll see people's TVs that basically allow you to be able to log into them. So this smart TV here, we can actually log into it quite easily using a tool called Ghost. But I'm not going to log into it, not now. I'm going to do a very simple experiment of what happens in the email world. Can I borrow somebody's Gmail account? Oh, any Gmail account would be great.
Yeah,
The
someone in
Gmail
the audience, feel free to paste your Gmail account on the chat. It's safe, don't worry.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you basically what happens in the email world. Yeah, so there are ways to be able to. You have one? Okay. Sheldon can help you find people's webcams, can find Polycom devices. You can find almost a lot of, you can find a lot of things in those kind of chats. Now, if I pick a Gmail account, great. John, how you doing? How you doing, John? John is a very good old friend and a mentee of mine. So if I use a tool like this called OSINT Industries, I want to find out details about John. Who is John? How has John been in the past? Has John account has been compromised before? At the end, I can say I want to find out if John had a password. So now John's account might have been compromised in the past, but the password is not showing here. So it's not here, but this website basically can actually show you accounts that have been compromised before. And I would love to do a little bit of an experiment with John's account. So, oh, wait, where am I, first of all? I wrote a small script to exploit sending a spoof email. So put John's email. I want to send that email to myself, and I'm going to say something like, say, I'm going to pick, say, Alliance for AI, and say, hey, spoof the email to brightzed@gmail.com. And the subject is Alliance for AI. Kindly use the link below to register for the webinar. So that's John, and I can send any email to him from John to me. Let's see what we have about him. So with this, okay. What? Of all days, this has failed. John, what have you done to my computer? Oh my goodness. And then I brought, let me see. Cloudflare has an issue. Because this basically was going to give us everything about John's life, where he has been in the past, where, let me re-sign in again and see if that's going to work.
It's good to know that it doesn't work all the time. So we know that maybe we might be lucky, or when people are coming after us.
It's gonna work. It has to work. It has never failed. So this is the first time I'm seeing it fail. Okay, as this is happening, let's go to check my email and see if the email has come. So if we go to my Gmail, we can see an email from John that has come to me, and it wasn't him. But as you can see, it came from send via SendGrid. So I basically used a SendGrid API to actually force an email looking like it came from him. Now imagine this came from your boss or your finance director saying that you've won something. This is a possibility of what's going to happen. So assuming I pick something else which we actually open to all the time, and I think I try to tell I showed a few people this some time back. I will pick a Google Drive. No, in fact, this Zoom link, it was called this registration link, right? So I'm going to copy this link and try to do another experiment called Seeker. Great. Angie. I'll use a Zoom link as the target. I've never used a Zoom link on this before, by the way. Oh, it's already started. Wow. So if I share this link, anybody can open it in the chat. Everybody in the meeting, I'll send this link. Tell me what you see. I want to see So I'll open another one using Safari for those who want to see this. So this opens and tells you to launch a Google Meet meeting. And it says launch, it tells you to allow location. Most of you are going to click on allow because we will let you in the meeting soon. Is that what's going to happen? Alex, if that was you, would you have clicked?
I think so.
Yeah.
More than 50% of the time I'll click allow.
Yeah. Or you have used a link shortener like bit.ly or something of the sort. I want to see, we can see now how many people have actually clicked. And to see that, you basically will see, so somebody has clicked, the location is this, and we can see where the person is coming from, which is basically finding that person's location. Whoever that is, this is where you are. If that was you, you can confirm in the chat. Has this thing worked? Ah, great. So John, these are the places you've been in the past. So it basically can pop out details about you, your shopping details, places that you've been going, the shopping mall, and your phone has just been picking some of this detail out that you can get. Getting to know how you look like shows your detail, other places you've been, your LinkedIn profiles, your GitHub repository. So picking information about a particular person is quite easy to be able to know. His Airbnb details and a few others that we don't have to show right now from this. But it's just basically, even if your account has been spoofed and the account has been used in another portal, it will show here. So I'll download this and share with you so that you can see where your account has been doing a number of things that you have no idea about. Anybody else who has clicked? Oh, great. So for me, so here you can see a few laptops here and there. You basically can tell where people have been, the kind of laptops they have, location, the kind of networks, IP addresses. So this is a very easy way to be able to actually catch some people, especially scammers who try to actually get you. So yeah, these are just basics of things that we get to see. If it was a Google link, because there are options, I could have used a Telegram type of a link or WhatsApp redirect or Google Drive. And this has been happening to a lot of people who, in the past few days, I've been hearing that a lot. My Google Drive has been compromised. My, how do you call it? My WhatsApp, no, not Google Drive, my WhatsApp has been compromised. It's been taken over, and people are entirely using it to, what's the word? To scam every contact list. Please, basic things you should need to do is just have things like two-step verification, get authenticators, or let's say a Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. Use those kind of things to protect yourself. I think there's some basic things that we need to just keep doing to make sure that we actually secure in the space. So I think I will stop there for now. Otherwise, I can go for the next 1 hour, even though I was given 15 minutes, so that we can get to answer some questions and yeah, engage.
That was really interesting. Before we go to the questions, Alex, do you have any comments on that?
Oh, I think that's amazing. That was so amazing to see. And yeah, we'll be going deeper with it. So Betty, please, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, that was so interesting. That was so interesting. I think the interesting thing about cyber is the tools that you get to use. Because back in campus, I was in USIU and I did some short courses on cybersecurity, and we were always excited to use the tools. Kali Linux, Wireshark, Nmap. Although I know Nmap and Wireshark are a bit old, but I think they're still used.
They're not old.
They still come in handy, right?
They come in handy. I used it as of yesterday. So they're not old.
Wireshark or Nmap?
Both.
Both. Yeah, for me, actually, I really did find those two tools very interesting. And yes, we did a bit of Kali Linux, but Wireshark and Nmap, wow, that was amazing. So yeah, that's the interesting thing about cyber. And at that time when we were doing those short courses, we mostly leaned on that and forgot about the policies and the governance, because I think that also plays a very big role. And that's the thing, people go to the tools, but now they forget the aspect of governance, which is actually a very, very important thing. And that brings me to my first question, talking about cybersecurity impact. So now looking at big organizations like banks, energy stations and all that, and we hear a lot of hacking. We hear from banks like this amount of money has been lost, big money. And I'm usually curious, what do hackers actually do? When we get to hear about this big money that has been lost, or rather KRA, maybe their systems are down, how do hackers penetrate that?
That's a very broad question. I wish it could be a bit specific, but the thing is, hackers have targets. The motivation could be, I want to destroy, or motivation is to shame somebody. I want to embarrass the KRA. I want to embarrass somebody, or ultimate goal is to steal money. So they're going to do that to be able to steal money at any point in time if they have to. And if you see, most of the hacking that has been going on is ransomware, and ransomware has changed. Ransomware, as we know it back in the day, was locking your files and say pay for it, and then we move on. But you see, somebody has a backup and the backup is offline, you basically can get you can get to move on easily. So people started getting to do backups much better. And then hackers they decided, you know what? Why am I trying to lock the files when these people can actually get back on track, when I can actually embarrass them and say, I'll publish your files online in the next 2 or 3 weeks if you don't pay. So that has become the new method of ransomware. They hold you ransom by holding the files and say they're going to spread them in the dark web or the deep web, which is not difficult. Though deep web is not difficult to get into. Dark web is difficult to get into. And basically that goes to show you the power they hold against you. You're being held at gunpoint. If you don't pay, we're going to actually share your files. Look at what happened to Kenya Airports Authority. Look at what happened to Kenya Airways. Some of the files, if you look at the files, Alex, by the way, some of the files show you that you can possibly print a badge for the airport. If you go through the files properly, you'll know how to print a badge for the airport. That's a national security problem, right? So that's the level of ransom that you're seeing right now. So there's always an end goal. However they want to get out of it, they will go for it.
Okay. Wow. I think now, okay, I probably will ask this as a rhetorical question. We've been having a lot of power losses in Kenya for some time. And at some point, sometimes I think that something is going somewhere wrong with hacking. My mind goes there most of the time, but that is something for us to ponder on. Maybe you can tell us about that later, but that's what I think. I've been thinking about that. Well, am I wrong to think that way?
No, I mean you're a critical thinker, and you have a free spirit, you're a free-spirited person to think. So it could be, it could not be. But when it comes to ICS and SCADA systems, it depends on what you can find out there. But most power grids are not necessarily connected to everything outside. So, but we don't know. We are not inside. We're not inside those systems to be able to see how they've been set up, if they're exposed or anything. But that doesn't mean they can't find out. If you use Shodan, for example, that I showed you, you basically can see a lot of power systems that are actually out there, and they're publicly available for anybody to search about them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. So on your presentation, you talked about APIs, and I know we have a lot of students here who could be web developers or app developers, and API is now the thing right now in tech. What are some of the measures that students or young professionals can take up as they develop these applications, using APIs, especially using M-Pesa, maybe, because I know that's the most API that's used right now in Kenya. What are some of the safety measures that they can take?
I will not focus on API alone. I'll focus on the entire structure of exactly how an application gets to be built. If you look at how applications are being built, there we have, for a web application or mobile application, we have what we call OWASP, OWASP Top 10. And that kind of a procedure is a standard for you to be able to see exactly how an application has been built and how you can be able to secure them. And hackers will go through that entire methodology. Remember, the hacker does not have a standardization to follow, saying, if I hack this, I get to win an award. So they're going to find a way to be able to break whatever they can, and they look for the easiest thing to break on your system. APIs are becoming one of the easiest targeted areas because developers develop, they think about functionality, usability. Security is something they add on top of it, but also because of pressure from the top. So the CEO is telling you, we have to launch this tomorrow. Who are you to say you don't want to launch this? And that's something which has become a struggle in most organizations. So if you're a developer, you're thinking about how to secure your APIs or any other vulnerabilities out there, and you're getting pressure, make sure that you actually, or if there's a product manager here, make sure that it's actually following the right methodologies of development, that you don't get to be called out later and said you're the one who was the cause of the problem. I'll tell you something for free, which happened in an API world. A program manager, a product manager told a young junior developer, change an API flow, change a particular code in details. This happened in East Africa. This young developer is like, but that wasn't the design we had before. But he listened. He actually went without going through a change management process. What happened? The organization lost $21 million in 4 months. 21. I don't want to say which kind of institution because most of you can go search and guess. $21 million got lost because of an API change, which enables some people to be able to act in ways they're not supposed to, right? So you, a developer, could be the reason. If you don't follow due process, try to learn how to follow due process. I find a lot of people who just want to listen and do what their bosses tell them, but you also have to question. And that's how you get to grow in the space of development. So yes, APIs spill out a lot of information and details about people, but they are leading to the cause of a whole account takeover or a whole infrastructure takeover of most systems that we have seen.
Honestly, we really need a lot of protection. We need people to protect us. We need them. There's a question I have here. Basically, I think in the past you've mentioned things like, even just in Kenya needs 10,000, up to 10,000 data, cybersecurity professionals. I wonder what the rest of Africa needs if you're talking about 10,000. What does that look like right now? How many are there in Kenya today, if you were to estimate? Do we even have like 50 amazing ones?
I don't know if they're really 10,000, but you see, if you go to LinkedIn right now, Alex, you'll find that everybody has a label that they're a cybersecurity professional. But now it depends on which professional they're in. Are they professional in managing people or managing conversations? Are they professionals in politics? You know, the cybersecurity politics where guys know how to just bull their way through, how do you call it, the ranks, and they're not really cybersecurity professionals. So I've seen people who have done presentations and they talk about certain things and you realize they've never seen an attack before. They're talking about an attack, they're talking about cybersecurity defense, but they've never seen it. I have seen people who do presentations and talk about threat intelligence. They've never seen a dashboard of a threat intelligence platform. So the whole cybersecurity professional is either here or there. We can't really tell who is a professional. So the 10,000 really, I'm not too sure. There's some people who are young. I'm seeing some of them in the group here, in the chat here, who are as young as 18, 19, and they can take over your entire network or system in a blink of an eye. And they might be the professional, but the professionalism of things also depend on exactly how you get to treat certain cases. If you're a professional, you cannot call yourself a professional when you go expose a company out there just because of a simple vulnerability you found about them. So the professional part of things, I weigh it in different ways. There's a company who was going to do a conference in one of the countries in Africa, and they gave me all the list of people they wanted to invite and the topics they gave them. And I said, but that's not their profession. They don't talk about these things any day. So I didn't shoot it down. I just told them, do proper research, but they all picked everything from LinkedIn and they said, we think this guy can do a demo for us. And I'm like, but this person has never touched a Linux terminal. They can be good at politics, but not the area of things we're looking at. So it has to be well defined of who the professional entities are.
You know what, Bright, please tell me that you're finding these 18-year-olds and 50-year-olds who are all together, and you guys are forming almost like a Africa defense team, a cyber defense team for Africa. Do we have one? Are you forming it?
We are trying, and that's something I run with Africa Hackon. In fact, on this Saturday, we have an Africa Hackon conference, the Q1 masterclass. The average age of the presenters is 21, 22. There's a 19-year-old, there's a 20-year-old, there's a 21. Maybe the others, there are maybe 2 or 3. About 4 of us or 3 of us are maybe the 28 to 30 something. Otherwise, everybody was very young. I know most of the people who are here will be like, how can I register? The tickets are sold out because they're sold out in less than 40 minutes or 30 minutes. But we'll share a live link later this week. So please look out for the registration of that when we'll share out, that you can get access to I can get access to the live link if you can't join us physically, because 450 slots is not easy to cater for everybody's food. It's not the venue, it's the food we don't have the money for. So that's usually the difficulty, but we are coming together. I'm happy to see the other fabrics of the cybersecurity community coming together to do a lot of conversations and upskilling people. It's why Africa Hackon now, we don't do panel discussions. No. You're either speaking and giving knowledge straight and we ask questions and or you're doing a masterclass. I feel sometimes the panel discussions become a little bit monotonous. It's the same thing we talk about all the time, and I'm not for that, how do you call it, structure anymore. People might say, oh, we need to discuss and everything, but yeah, panels are a bit boring these days. I'll do it sometimes, but not for my event.
We hear you. We hear you. I think you shared about, you send a link or something for people to find out how to join the live stream, because I want to. So we will also grab that from you later, so that we'll send a follow-up email to everyone who signed up. So at least they get it from multiple places, so people can watch live. That would be fantastic. And yeah, if you guys even allow me, we are, 75% through. So we do take a little break and do like a 2 minutes and just share a bit about Alliance for AI, the organization that is organizing this, because I'm imagining people are really enjoying this conversation and this discussion meeting we have. And it doesn't end here. As Alliance for AI, we've decided that hosting discussions like these are a way to introduce people to concepts that are cutting edge, that they usually don't, come and learn about on their day-to-day. So this is an opportunity for you to learn outside the box and do more. I would say every month or every 2 months, we bring in a special guest like Bright to share about their industry. But outside of that, every single week, we have circles who meet and just discuss by themselves. Okay, they don't even wait for an expert. They just meet and they discuss on their own. And those discussions get managed on our app. So for 1 more minute here, I will just quickly share my screen and show that to you. I've also even pasted some message on the chat here, so you can learn how to join it. This is an alpha version of this app that, if in fact, one of the members helped us build. I don't imagine we've done much cybersecurity on it. So Bright, please don't have one of your friends try to break in. Or maybe they can volunteer to help us make it secure. It's very new. So yes. Yeah, people, you can just go to a4aiapp.org, create your account. Bright has taken a picture. I'm very scared. Yes. So when you sign in and you go to discussions, you'll see a list of discussions that different circles are hosting, right? From there are folks in KU that talked about business intelligence 3 days ago. They talked about professional banding, on the 12th of February. And the next one is, I think there's a cooperative university in Kenya. They're going to be doing their info session. So you can actually join discussions from, just different countries, right? This one is in the US, LLHS is in the US, where they had a member-led presentation. So you can just join people who are discussing interesting things in tech. And basically you click on it, you register to join, and you're able to join them. And then you're able to mark your attendance afterwards by, sharing a comment of what you learned in that discussion. You can also click on comments to see what people have been saying about discussions that they've been part of. And then if you want to create your own circle so you can run your own discussions, you have to reach out to us, right? I put a link on the chat so that you can email us at admin@allianceforai.org to create your own circle and start having your discussions. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen here. And I will say that I'm very worried that I've shared that with you guys, but let's keep going. Betsy, maybe you have some more questions for us.
I have something in relation to that. So everybody is getting to the AI space and everything, and some people who are here, if you want to learn about the AI course, the AI courses that are out there, was a 6-week course of how to apply AI to your everyday life in the kind of businesses. I'm sharing a link there. There's an ALX program that is going on right now for you to learn how to use AI to do how do you call it, for your everyday businesses. It's an essential tool of things. A lot of people don't think that they ever get to use it. But if you want the basics of it, do check it out. And the link is in the chat. You can register with that. It's a 6-week course.
Okay. Alex, I can continue?
Yes, please. Yes.
Oh yeah. So of course, to our audience, I know you probably do have questions. I think Alex, you can help us to pick like 2 to 3 questions that from our audience that Bright can actually answer. So yes. So just still on AI, I thank you for actually bringing that topic up, Bright. It just goes to my next question, which is what about AI? How is AI changing the landscape of cybersecurity now?
I mean, people are automating, and AI tools are helping us to write better scripts, faster scripts, better ways of being able to bridge into systems. And it's been there for a while. If you look at the ways that people are automating their ways of hacking network and systems, they're automating. That means we also have to start automating in terms of exactly what you're trying to protect. And for that to happen, we need to understand processes and details to know exactly what we're going to automate and what we can leave for human beings to do. If you have an incident response process and you have your network being breached with thousands of alerts, a human being is not able to go through all of those alerts if you're being hacked for real. Instead of taking one whole day trying to bring down the alerts to 100 or something, if you have 10,000, for example, you need an AI tool to be able to do that for you, to be able to separate signal from noise, reduce it to the way that is easily admissible into details for you to understand, is this really an attack, or is not, if this is really an attack or it's a false positive. So AI tools are there. It's going to change the landscape. It's already doing that, and we're about to see a lot more.
Okay. Just on that, I recently was watching a video concerning AI and cybersecurity and Python. I think Python has come up with frameworks that you can use for cybersecurity. Maybe you can just tell us how are those frameworks being used? Of course, not completely everything, but what does Python touch on cybersecurity?
Python is one of the best coding tools, but the exact ones for cybersecurity, I'm not too sure about it. So I'm not going to lie to you. Almost every tool you see these days are all Python written. Python and Go is coming up a lot, but I see a lot of all the tools. Like I'm using a Macintosh laptop, so I don't have Kali Linux, and almost all the tools that I install are Python tools.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Alexa, probably could you have picked some questions from our audience?
Yeah, I'm reading the chat here to see what they writing. Someone wrote, what are key criteria you use to evaluate corporate cybersecurity tools in Kenya, considering our limitations in the industry?
I wouldn't say we have limitations really. The limitations would be upskilling. A lot of people are not upskilling to learn anything new. So it becomes difficult for them I mean, the hackers are upskilling and they're trying something different and they're looking for the easiest way out. For example, there was a hacking method by embedding a malware into Excel sheets, which a friend of mine called Amarja Labu, very good with red teaming. This guy is a beast. Has taught me a long time ago. This was 4 years ago that he taught me this. It's still being used, and the hackers are only morphing a few how do you call it? Have they just been morphing the attack types slightly to become more stealth in the space? So hackers are upscaling. We also need to upskill and change the way we do things. You can't be using one kind of a tool for the next 4 years and expect to be able to protect your system or businesses. But the last but not the least part of that part of the question is what our businesses or senior management, senior leadership taking the cybersecurity or cyber resilience. Majority of them don't want to hear this. When they take for them a budget, they're like, no, we've not been hacked for 4 years. What makes you think we're going to be hacked today? But until it happens to them, they never know.
Yeah. That brings me to a question actually, because I think I've heard it now said that people are not proactive, they are reactive. They only react when they've been attacked. They don't want to spend the money on paying for the antivirus tool on the computer. I am saying day and day and day, and I'm one of them. I let my antivirus thing expire. After I watched your videos, I went and paid for it. So everyone else, please go pay for your you go pay for your antivirus tool. It's a bad behavior that we have. So it leads me to a question actually. Since we all just prefer to be reactive, how can we be reactive? Is there a hotline to call when your company is taking over? Like if you go to the policeman down the road, I don't think they know what to do. So who do you call?
I say, first of all, have an incident response plan. A lot of people have the incident response kind of a policy ready, written down, well articulated. It's just packed. They've discussed it. It looks nice. They've never tested it out. So incident response plans, your backup plans, your business continuity plans have to be something that you take into consideration of you've tried and tested it out properly. And you know how to be able to identify areas of places that you might be breached easily, and you start killing those lists. You know, they take the issues and keep on reducing them at least by 50%. So the incident response process is there, and then of course you can reach out to people like me. My cybersecurity services are out there. I'm the easiest person to find on the internet. And you can see it's easy to be able to subscribe to some of these services. I have a managed service, for example, and my managed services basically allows you to say we're on standby, to call us 24/7. Should you have any kind of a breach, you can call us to be able to help you sort that out. Because most people don't think this is a necessity until it happens to them. Even if you have a cybersecurity team and you need extra, because your team might not have all the expertise, but you need extra people to be able to help you with those kind of things. You basically can look for it. I'll drop my website here. And I know people will say, oh, it's not secure. Anyway, there's a reason why it's the way it is. And they can reach us there easily should you have any questions, or info@cyberguardafrica.com, and we'll be able to actually respond to you. I'm actually implementing an AI.
We're actually even getting towards 3 minutes to the top of the hour. So I would imagine maybe 2 or 3 more questions. Let me ask my last one, and then Betty, I don't know if you have a last one, and we might pick one from the audience. For me, I'm thinking, right, wow, where is this man going to be in 5 or 10 years? Right. So please share with us, what's your dream? What's your dream 5 years from now? Or what's going to be happening?
I am not finding the right cybersecurity programs for the young generation and people in the space to upskill. So my dream in the next 5 years is to set up my own cybersecurity school, where I can teach or get the right people to teach the right courses, the right details. So I'm doing a bit of research to see how I'll be able to launch that, because I think it to be really to be exceptional for us to be able to teach the right details. Incorporate things like blockchain technology in terms of cybersecurity, blockchain investigation. But hey, that's an area I'm venturing into. From next week, I want to get into doing blockchain investigation, smart contracts, cryptocurrency investigations, and I want to master that and become a teacher of that very soon. Such areas, I cannot be the only person. We have to create more people like me. We have to create other versions of me who are unique. And we have to keep on making sure that if I can teach, a typical example, John Musioki, who has submitted his email. I taught him, he's teaching other people, and those people will teach others. Fraser Kilonzo is in the team, is in the group here. They have started teaching other people. And I love the fact that we can keep on doing that. If we keep on doing that and spread the word, what will the next few years be in the cybersecurity space in Africa? We need to change the space, and it has to be us to take that initiative. Yeah.
Okay, so could you then maybe point to our audience, maybe courses they can start on, learn the basics, or even programs that they will probably have to do if they want to get to, be in cybersecurity jobs?
There's a context I will even add there because, yes, there you go. You shared some courses earlier. I wanted to then say there are different kinds of people. There are the people who just want 1 hour to be aware of dangers so that they are aware. There are people who just want to learn about some tools to have fun. So maybe they are 4 hours. And then there are people who want to become deep professionals who will then take full courses. So I don't know if you could separate it out like that.
So if you go to use things like Udemy, you'll find the 1 hour courses, the 2 hour courses, Cybersecurity, which I shared earlier on, you can find them. You can see there very easily under the wire for Windows. VulnHub has machines which you can use to basically learn how to exploit machines. So all of these are here. Threat intelligence, I didn't label them yet, but these are some of the tools they can use to be able to learn. The Easy Castle Code Red course, it can help you to be able to get access to all of these courses, simple ones, and do them one by one. For example, identity and access management, you don't have to be technical to be able to do that. And they have this course for like $1 sort of a thing. But let me just give it to summarize everything. And I was putting this together some time back. You're going to fail a few times in certain areas of cybersecurity. And there's a lot of information that's out there. So at the beginning, there's over-information. You have to start writing things down and say, what can I start with today? What can I do tomorrow? What is the definition of a success to you? Get mentors. It doesn't have to be me. There's so many other people in the group here. There's John, there's Fraser, there's a few others in the group that I saw. I can't mention all of them. And it gets very overwhelming. So you have to join communities. You have to join groups. Very soon, we're going to open up the Africa Hack-On group joining, where we can actually get to exchange ideas and details. That'll be happening soon. And have a partner who you can actually work with. Follow blogs. There's so many news groups out there. Look, I can't do that for you, but just Google it out. Twitter, LinkedIn. I always share details when it comes to Twitter. I mean, on LinkedIn, I repost links, free tutorials every single other day. I'm always sharing a free tutorial out there for people to be able to follow. Then they have to spend some time learning how to do, on materials and tutorials out there. And there's so many groups. There are WhatsApp groups, there are Telegram groups. And like I said, if it's noisy, too noisy, just leave. Because you're not helping yourself by being in a group where there's way too much you can't actually understand. It's wasting your time rather than helping you. And if you can teach or talk about what you've done, do it as much as you can for experience. I tell people, you can know all the cybersecurity skills in the world, but if you don't know how to teach somebody or to talk to another person and give them details, you're going to have a very difficulty in being able to teach them. So that's basically what I'll say when getting into the cybersecurity space. The tools are many, the courses are many. You have to be just have to be very intentional about it and making sure that you get the basics right. If you don't have the basics, it's going to be a very long journey. And it's forming groups, forming teams, talking to other people. And I don't have to be the mentor. I'm already too busy. So sometimes I don't even have the time to do all the mentorship that I have to. Yeah, so that's basically what I can say.
All right, thank you. Over to you, Alex.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so very much, Bright. I have to say that we all appreciate you and all you've shared with us today. I've been people in the comments. Please feel free to say what you felt about this session because it was really incredible. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that we actually had this on YouTube Live, so it's there for others to watch. We had at some point here around 60 people, but at least on YouTube Live, we'll be able to get many more people to see this. So many more need to see it. We are excited about the future and what's coming. We're excited about Africa HackOn, the event you have in less than a week. We'll be looking out for the link for that. And yeah, we'll be reaching out to all of you. We'll send an email to summarize this so you can be aware. And yeah, be on the lookout for more like this. Bright, I don't know if you have any final word for the audience before we shut down the call.
The internet does not forgive, it doesn't forget. Be safe all the time. Beware and be aware. That's all I can say.
Beware and be aware. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember to post your learnings on social media, tag us, use the hashtag, and let's continue to share everything we learn. The easiest way to learn is to teach. So teach and share with people and it'll stick. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening.